Joining us right now, and we're very grateful to have him on the phone for a few minutes, the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns, Jordan Ott, who joins us here on the Burns and Gambo show. Jordan, welcome to the Valley. Congratulations. I'm Dave. This is Gambo. We appreciate your time, man. Welcome to town.
Thank you. Thank you. Super excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Coach, listen, I loved your answer when you were asked about the ties going back to Michigan State. You earned this opportunity. 20 years coaching between college and the NBA. You've been interviewed for head coaching jobs before. I love how firm you were with that answer about, hey, listen, I earned this opportunity to be a head coach in this league. Tell me a little bit about that, the 20-year journey to get to this spot.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of reflection, over the last week, especially after the initial call and knowing that you were named the head coach of an NBA franchise, and just the journey itself. There's just so many people that you've been in touch with, that you've been around, that have impacted your life. Obviously the family piece to it, the people that have sacrificed the most, and then the players. I don't think any coach can be successful without incredible players, and just all different types of players that have played well, that have then in return helped me advance and learn and be here today.
You've been through the process of interviewing for a head coaching job before. This was a thorough process. I think Brian Gregory did a terrific job, starting with about 15 to 20 different candidates, and then it came down to two, you and Johnny Bryant. How odd was it being a finalist with a guy that you were on a coaching staff with in Cleveland?
Yeah, I actually have so much respect for Johnny. I did not know him before this year, so just met him, and just the way he goes about his business on a day-to-day as a coach and as a person. Very, very humble, no ego. When you're working on staffs and you're putting staffs together, you just never know. And he has an incredible relationship with Donovan, but he's an incredible relationship with everyone. So when we get down to it and there's two guys announced, throughout the entire process, him and I were texting and communicating about it all, and kind of just helping each other get through it. But thankfully it was him and I have such respect for who he is as a man and as a coach. So his day will be coming soon.
Jordan Ott is our guest here on the Burns and Gambo show, the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns. Ever since we carried your press conference, I've been dying to ask you the question about the interactions that you had with Devin Booker during this process. You spoke a little bit about when you first scouted him years ago, but specific to this job and you getting this job, what were those conversations like, and what were your interactions like with Devin, and how do you think that helped you to put your best foot forward and get this gig?
Yeah, it all comes back to basketball, right? The starting piece was definitely basketball. We had some shared acquaintances along the way, but did not know him prior to this. And it started with basketball, and then it goes to the end where we know he's an incredible player. That's what makes this job unique, having him with us. And it's my job to help him and showing him some of those ways that I plan to help him and help us move forward, put him in a position to succeed on a night-to-night basis. That's my job as the head coach.
You want buy-in from every guy on the roster, obviously, but how important is it to maintain that buy-in from him, given who he is as a leader on this team and kind of what he represents to the organization? How much of a priority is that for you when you embark on this journey with him?
Extremely, extremely high priority to connect, spend time, to meet him where he is, to listen to how he sees the game, who he is as a man. And that's going to come through this summer. And we're going to build this thing out together every step of the way. But that's the exciting piece. He has seen success, so he has a vision for what it looks like. I have seen, other ways to do it, and collaborating at each step of the way and building it out is very, very, very unique and very exciting.
Coach, I spoke with some players that actually played under you over the years. I said, give me something. Tell me about his offense. And they said, you're going to absolutely love it. Creativity, fast pace, driving, cutting, spacing, tempo, multiple options, multiple ball handlers. The people that I spoke with that know you well were just raved about your offensive mind. Tell me a little bit about what type of offense you want to run here in Phoenix.
It's going to lean into the concepts of basketball and how everyone's playing now, or how the high-level team. So we're going to play a conceptual style offense that will involve body movement through our cutting principles. We'll clearly have a way of playing our principles of play. Of course, you need your set actions and your counters to those set actions, especially as the game slows down. But we're going to play a certain style offensively that plays fast, gets to action quickly, and then we're going to move. We're going to move, and then as we get the ball downhill into the paint, we're going to make the right play. Sometimes that may be a shot or a finish. It may be a kick out and turn it into closeout. So all of it together will create a joy and a spirit that we all, grew up playing basketball a certain way. And that just carries over and permeates through the entire game and leads into your defense. So we all know how players think. It's a lot of them are offensive minded, just like we were when we were kids. Can you put the ball in the basket? So getting that piece right will, in return, help our defense.
Yeah, let's talk about identity. I know Matt and Josh and Brian have talked about just trying to make a team that the fans are proud of. Look, to be honest with you, these last couple of teams, the fans hated the Phoenix Suns team. They were soft. When things got tough, they wilted. A 10-point lead would turn into 20, 25, 30, and they'd be out of it. You wouldn't see guys diving for loose balls, taking charges. And so when I ask you the identity you want, hardworking team that the Valley can be proud of, what do you expect?
Definitely want a team that plays hard, but we also want to do it together. So you want to play hard, you want to play together, you want a team that plays the right way. And then again, it's that joy, it's that spirit of collectively going out there, especially on the road, when there's only your travel party and, a handful of fans on the road with you. We need each other. So we need to be a collective unit that is connected, and then just having the ability to do it longer than the opponent. And in return, the fans will see what we're talking about. They're going to want to see that team. We want to perform like that for our fans. We know what they want. Now it's our job to build this thing out day by day to get there.
Jordan Ott is our guest here on the Burns Gambo Show, the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns. I wanted to ask you, in all of your travels and everywhere you've been, one guy that you spent some time with is near and dear to our hearts here in Phoenix, and that's Steve Nash when he was the head coach in Brooklyn. Gambo had reported throughout this process that Steve put in some good words to you, to the Phoenix Suns, about your work there. Tell our audience about your time spent with Steve, your interactions with him, and the role he might have played in helping you get this gig.
So I met Steve when he became the head coach in Brooklyn. And everyone knows Steve Nash, the player, but the human is even better. There's not a more humble person that I've ever been around. Talks to everyone in the room, makes everyone feel that they have value. He spends time with everyone, and that's something that I will forever have with me, the way he was just able to make everyone feel a certain way. And he talked a lot about spirit and the spirit of the game and how it should be played and what it should feel like and how everyone that's watching it should see it and again, be able to communicate, wow, that team plays a certain way. He is such a mentor, a great mentor to have. Just happens that I get this job in Phoenix. So, yeah, excited to connect with him again.
Yeah, everybody, there was so many people in the organization back then that wanted the Suns to draft Walter McCarty, but Ainge was here, and Danny was like, no, we got to draft Steve Nash, so they ended up drafting Steve Nash. I want to ask you about your coaches, 1 through 6. How much say will you have in it? I understand you may have to hire somebody who's had head coaching experience, maybe a Steven Silas or somebody like that. I know you know Jared Dudley very well. Damari Carroll, I believe, is coming on board. Where are you as far as hiring your coaches? How much say will you have in hiring your coaches?
I think that it's a continual process. We want to get it done as fast as possible, but most importantly, we want to get it right. So they've given me every opportunity, every resource possible to build it out the right way. And I know since I haven't been a head coach and BG has been a head coach. He's built staffs before. Josh has been around this thing his entire life. And Matt's built an entire company from the ground up. So we're all going to be on the same page of who we bring in here that will ultimately have a huge impact on our group. So we'll build this out, hopefully within the next couple of weeks so we can get some things rolling, get some things finalized for our group to be here in Phoenix.
Jordan, congratulations again on the job and welcome to the Valley. We appreciate the conversation and we look forward to having many more with you in the future. Thank you.
Yep, can't wait. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching Burns Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.